This is a study that we just finalized this year and been published in Free Radical Biology and Medicine 2019. What we saw, we studied another aspect of inflammation. So we all know that pollution can affect skin, and this can also be modulated by an inflammatory process. What we wanted to investigate if there was another inflammatory pathway activated after pollution hits the skin. And we indeed found that the inflammasome pathway, that is a relatively new pathway discovered in the inflammatory process, is actually activated after ozone exposure. We did this in different skin models. We did in 2D, homemade 3D models, and also skin biopsies. And in all of them, we found that this machinery that is perpetuate itself was activated and could explain all the retrospective studies that have been done previously, showing that when there is an increase of ozone concentration in the troposphere, there is an increase of visit to the ER for skin conditions. All these pollutants, they are different and their chemistry is different. Although all of them had a common denominator, that is the one to alterate the redox homeostasis of the tissue, the cell, they act this differently. For example, ozone cannot penetrate the skin, but reacts with the stratum corneum and makes all this cascade of bioactive compounds that then will bring the effect. UV light, for example, can go through the skin, so that is another way how to act. Although both alterate the redox homeostasis, or how usually in a layman way is oxidative stress. So the concentration of ozone in the troposphere fluctuates. It can go from 0.01 ppm part per million or up to 0.2, 0.5 ppm. Actually, there are even reports in the literature saying that it could reach concentration as high as 0.8 ppm. Of course, it depends on the season. In the summer is higher, and also on the moment of the day, because during daylight is higher, because to make ozone you need is a recipe that is made mainly with nitroxides that comes from the exhaust of the car and UV light. So we understand that in the daytime you have more of this substrate to make ozone. So the link between ozone, inflammation and aging is so ozone will induce an inflammatory process. The inflammatory process, as you know, there is also this new term that has been now well used, that is inflammaging. So you have an increase of inflammatory status during your aging process. So what happens is if you have pollution that induce inflammation, you aggravate already the physiological inflammatory process that you have in the skin, that we all have it, because is a dynamic tissue. And so that would lead to, for example, activate some enzyme that are known, for example, metalloproteinases, that will chew the tissues, and then are actually among the responsible of wrinkle formations. Indeed, there is one recent study from Krugman group showing that people that are living close to urban area have an increased wrinkles, but not pigmentation. On the other hand, if instead of ozone you have particulates, you don't have too much wrinkle, but increase the pigmentation. So that it shows how they act differently. We have pollution, as we say, is one word, but has a lot of meanings. So we need to extrapolate of which pollutant we talk about and that's why experiments in the lab are important, so you understand the mechanism of each pollutant, and even if they have a combined effect.